What's up, DE family? I'm Dr. Brian Moriarty, coming to you for our Tuesday night principled chiropractic call sponsored by DE and Band of Brothers. We're excited you guys are here for our exciting call with Dr. Beth Frosch. A couple announcements first. We got DE in August, guys, coming up August 13th through the 16th in Atlanta, in Marietta, at the Atlanta Northwest Marriott. Guys, get signed up for that, registered, get your hotel, get your airfare. It's going to be the biggest DE ever. You definitely want to be a part of it. And this Saturday, we've got DE's Saturday Night Live coming up. Got a great card. We've got a lot of huge speakers on there, headlined by Dr. Brian Lieberman, and there's 3 other people who I can't remember right now. So, but definitely, you just tune in. You don't even care who's on it because there's going to be some great people. I think John Balsamo's on there and 2 other wonderful speakers. Maybe I'll look that up before we end this call. But anyway, definitely get to DE, definitely get to SNL. And tonight we're going to get going here with our speaker tonight. This lady hails from my hometown here in Florida, a proud FCS member. And Dr. Beth Frosch is in my Band of Brothers down here in Florida with Paula and Marilyn. We always see her at our meetings here and on Zoom. And her husband is on our state board here in Florida. And I tell you, I really love Dr. Beth. She's got that New York attitude in her because she originally hails from New York. And she's just a wonderful, wonderful lady, amazing chiropractor. We love Lorenzo, and I cannot wait to hear her share on this stage. So without further ado, from Boynton Beach, Florida, give it up for Dr. Beth Frosch.
Everyone. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you, Brian Lieberman, for giving me the honor of speaking to you guys. As many of you know, this is not my favorite thing to do, but I was very blessed to be asked by Brian the other day, so I accepted. Before we start, Jazzy, this is for you and for our good friend Tim Langley. When I was thinking about what I was going to talk about tonight, I kept thinking what I've been most concentrating on the past few months, and that is gratitude. And that led me to think about what I'm mostly grateful for DE about. So I'm going to share 3 huge life-changing moments for me because of DE and causing me to have such gratitude. Before I start, let me give you a little bit of background. I am a 1991 graduate of NYCC. I was fortunate enough to hear about DE while I was a student. And some classmates of mine, like Seth Chalfin, we would all get together during school and go down to DE. So I had a foundation when I got out of school of how I wanted my practice to be and what I wanted it to look like. And I'm so grateful that I was able to go to DE as a student, not getting the principal at my school. Then once I decided to come to Florida, I was again fortunate to hook up with the most amazing people. I moved to South Florida and I got in with the Saturday Night Live, and I became friends with Paula and Dan Bechter and Joe Accurso and Walter, and they all took me under their wing and really showed me of how I wanted to mold myself as a chiropractor. The first thing that I'm mostly grateful to DE for was I was at a DE. In the beginning, I never missed a DE. I would go 4 times a year. And my life and my practice really reflected that. I had the volume, I had the commitment. I had the most amazing life, but it was very unbalanced. It was all chiropractic, no family. I was always into God and spiritual and everything, but my life was very unbalanced because I had no personal life. It was all chiropractic. So one DE, I happen to have been coming home from Boston. Some of you have already heard this story, and I'm sorry to repeat it again, but this was one of the major things that I am oh so grateful to DE for. I was coming home for an amazing DE in Boston. I had brought my mom and my sister with me, and I was flying high because I was able to share DE with my mom, and she finally knew what it was that I was always talking about and why I was come home so excited and everything. Well, we all know that euphoric high that we have when we come from DE. And I was bouncing around the plane and I was standing in the back of the plane and I started talking to a flight attendant. And he was very, very interested in chiropractic. He had told me that he was looking for a chiropractor. Once I explained what chiropractic is all about, I gave him an adjustment. And I also gave him my business card and I told him, give me a call sometime. I'll hook you up with a chiropractor in Philly. Well, by the time I got home that night, that flight attendant had looked at my home number and asked me to go to dinner. I said, sorry, but I just got home from this amazing seminar and you have to call me next time you're in Florida, which he did. And for the next 8 years, every time he came to Florida, we would get together. And he always told me that there was something about me, that I had this aura that attracted him to me, that he just had to talk to me that night on the plane. And that was because I was coming home from a DE. We all know that we vibrate at a different level when we're coming home from a DE. And that's what attracted him to me. And that flight attendant is my husband, Paul. He's no longer a flight attendant. But if it wasn't for DE, I wouldn't have been on that plane. He wouldn't have been attracted to me because of this vibe that I was giving off. And I wouldn't have the beautiful life and the beautiful son that we have now if it wasn't for DE. So that is the one thing that I am most grateful to DE for, is giving me my amazing husband and my amazing son. For that, I will be eternally grateful to DE for. I always wanted to marry a chiropractor, but as it turned out, my husband is a chiropractor in his heart. As Brian had mentioned, he does sit on the state board here because he tries to keep the integrity of chiropractic. My second major thing that I am so grateful that DE has given me was, after 25 years in practice, I was sued by my next door neighbor. 25 years in practice, never had a negative word against me. My next door neighbor decided to take me to court, and he was suing me for $5 million. I never took a dime from my neighbor. Whether that was right or wrong negates the point. But I knew in my heart that I did nothing wrong. And my malpractice company said to me, we will do whatever you want to do. And because of the foundation and the confidence that I had growing in DE, I was able to say, no, I'm going to fight this. Because in the back of my mind, all I heard was Dick Santo's words: when you're right, you're right. And when you're one with your innate, nothing bad will ever happen to you. And every day when I went to that courtroom, in the morning, Ed Cordero and I would pray. On my way to the courthouse, I had Mindy Weingartner texting me. So when I walked in to that courtroom, I had Mindy on my left, I had Ed on my right, and I had DE behind me, because I knew that I was right. And I never would have had that confidence had it not been going to DE and learning that conviction that we have to stand up for something that we're right and for our principle. And when I had Bob Sotilli as a consultant, he had told me on my first page, when the patients fill out, have our office policy. And it clearly states in my office, I do not diagnose, I do not name, I do not do anything but to detect and correct vertebral subluxations. And I have the patient read that and sign that before they even fill out any paperwork, because if they don't agree with that, they are not a patient in my office. And he said to me, one day this piece of paper will save your ass. Little did I know that it was going to be in a courtroom. When I was being battered up on that stand, I kept repeating the same thing. The attorney kept saying, well, doctor, why didn't you do this? And I would say, because I detect and correct subluxations. I repeated it so many times that I think the next time that the attorney was going to ask me a question, I think the jury and the judge were ready to answer, because all she does is detect and correct subluxations. Turns out that after 15 minutes of deliberation, the jury came back and I won the case. But had it not been for DE, I would never have gone up against a $5 million case. I mean, I was willing to lose my house, my practice, everything. But I knew I was right. And I was one with my innate. And therefore, I knew that nothing bad was going to happen to me. The third thing that comes up, which is more recent, at the January DE, I was talking to Liz Razzle. I was fortunate to go out to dinner with her family. And I said, Liz, after 28 years of being in practice, something's missing. Something's wrong with me. I am not a good communicator. I have to become a better communicator. And she says, what are you talking about? You explain chiropractic. And I said, no, I don't think I really get the message across. And we were talking, I said, yes, I have 100% referral practice. I'm now adjusting the kids of the kids when I first started practice. But I don't feel like I'm really getting the message across, or else my office would be exploding. So I come home from January DE, and I said that was one of the things I was going to work on. And then this coronavirus crap hits. And thank God we have a governor that deemed us essential, and I never had to close my doors. So I was there, but then it was a matter of, are the patients going to show up? And you know what? They did. And every one of them came in and said, Doc, I'm really scared to come out, but you always said that it was really important to have a clear spine and to be connected because our nervous system will work better. And with all the stuff that's going on right now, I need a clear nervous system. I was like, thinking to myself, okay, well, that was a test. Maybe I am getting the message across, even though I don't do a report of findings or a big health talk or whatever. They are getting it on some level when I educate the person one-on-one. I even had a new patient come in because he was told by one of my patients, he had anxiety through this whole thing. And he came in and he said, I don't understand the whole thing, but my friend told me that I need my sympathetics shut off and my parasympathetics turned on, and you're the person to do that. So that's why I'm here, and that somehow will help with my anxiety. So again, I guess I am communicating the message somehow, and that all goes back to what I've learned at DE. And even though I don't come to every DE 4 times a year, and I don't show up to my band of brothers all the time, or hardly ever, I always get scolded by Marilyn. I know that you all have my backs, and I never would be able to have, excuse me, have the practice I have today if it wasn't for the foundation that I have got at DE, the friends, the brothers and sisters. I mean, we are truly a family. And even though I stay in my little close, group of friends, I know that I can call on any one of you at any time and you'd be there. And the same thing, if anyone ever needs something from me, I will be there because that's what a family does. And that's what DE is. Between the 49 breaths in the morning, the Band of Brothers on Monday nights, the Tuesday night calls, DE itself, it has molded me and made me the chiropractor I am today. And I am so, so grateful for DE and for all of you. And that's just really what I wanted to share tonight, just because I've been in this gratitude mode and I wanted to explain to you the 3 biggest events in my life that I am grateful for DE giving me. Thank you guys so much for allowing me this opportunity to share.
Beth, you're a rock star, girl. Thank you for that awesome message. When you're right, you're right. And you were right tonight. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Brian.
And we got to get those Band of Brothers meetings going in person again. And then we'll have to get you down there again. But that was a great talk. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. This weekend, Saturday Night Live, Marilyn Shore, John Balsamo, Ed Cordero, Brian Lieberman. That's the lineup. Going to be a great night. Definitely don't want to miss that out. Let's get registered for DE. If you could hit share in your bottom left screen there, share this. If you want people to hear Beth's message, share it worldwide. People need to hear this message. So I want to thank Dr. Beth Frosch for being our wonderful speaker tonight.
Thank you, Brian.
And everyone have an amazing evening. Stay healthy, stay safe out there. We love and appreciate you all. God bless.